Welcome to Spiralling, the podcast where guests share the problems, insecurities, and festering little brain worms that they just can't get out of their heads. I'm Zara Gladman. I'm not a therapist, but people like to tell me their problems, and I like to record them for content. Together, we'll try to get to the bottom of what's really going on, and with any luck, stop spiralling. Let's go.
I'm spiraling. There's a few things on my mind and I'm spiraling. So please help me unwind. I know that you're not qualified as a therapist, but I am spiraling.
Hey guys. I'm a bit embarrassed that I'm doing this because I resisted for so long, but it's true. I've done it. I've started a podcast. Why am I doing this? Because everyone else is doing it. And I enjoy the long form. You know, I do get fed up with social media. That's kind of why I started a Substack, which you can still read if you prefer the written form to these dulcet tones. I thought it would be a good excuse to reach out to people who I found interesting as well. And boy, do I have a lineup for you. It's obviously got a few comedians in there, but there are some other creative people from different sectors as well. And it's been a genuine pleasure to chat to all of them. Part of my cunning plan of making this podcast themed around spiralling was I thought, well, that's a cheeky way of encouraging my guests to be a little bit vulnerable. And I'll leave it up to you to decide whether that cunning plan has worked. But people have shared really interesting things with me, so I'm pretty pleased with how it's gone. As I record this, it is the 27th of July 2026. I was out filming today for a secret television project. I am back to my day job tomorrow, just for one day, and then I'm off again filming. My flat right now is a total riot. There's clothes and just crap everywhere. I've got a load of washing on. So, to be honest with you, I think the reason I'm recording this podcast intro right now is because I'm procrastinating doing my chores. Get on with it. It has been a very busy summer. As I say, I'm doing this telly project. I'm also doing one date at the Fringe. Please come along on the 12th of August at Cab Vol 1 with Monkey Barrel. It's last year's show, but last year's show had great reviews and it sold out its run. So if you haven't seen it, come along. If you went last year and you liked it, tell a friend. Anyway, it's time for me to introduce the first ever spiralling guest. And it's a banger because it is Eleanor Morton. Eleanor Morton is a comedian who I've known for many years. She is very funny. She is very smart. She has a strong moral code as well, which I admire. And she is a big overthinker. So when I started this podcast, I thought immediately, I've got to get Eleanor. I've got to get her. And thankfully, she accepted my invitation. And we had a great chat. Plus, because this is the first episode, I've got a bonus guest. And this is a mystery guest who we phoned live on the podcast. I'm not going to say who it is, but it's somebody very important to me. It's somebody who lives in a different country, and I hope you enjoy the three-way chat that came from this. So, here we go. I'm spiraling. Okay, welcome Eleanor to the first ever episode of Spiraling.
Thank you so much for having me.
Have you ever been on the first episode of something?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't think so. I've probably been on the last episode of something.
I've been on the first and the last episode of my own sketch show.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, because it was one episode.
It was always intended. Yeah, that was the plan all along. Very excited to have you here on my show about anxiety and spiraling.
What made you think of me?
Oh, well, I don't want to make you overthink this, but you were quite near the top of my list, if not maybe number one.
No, stop. I really wanted to fill the niche of most anxious Scottish woman, but if it's happened, it's happened.
I think it may have happened. Have you ever been on a podcast where the host has a clipboard?
I don't think so. Would you like to be the first Are you very excited about the
Yeah,
clipboard?
I'm just trying to set various records today.
Yeah.
What about an anxiety blanket?
No, this is definitely the first anxiety blanket. I think I like it. I don't know how I'd feel about it being over my whole body. That might be quite a lot, but over the knees is quite nice.
Yeah, I quite like it. I think they get them for dogs as well.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me.
For fireworks, apparently it's a thing.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I what do I use to soothe me? Because it's not heavy blankets. I think it's hot water bottles. I love a hot water bottle.
Just some warmth and compression.
Just like blistering heat on my abdomen. Yeah.
Scalding, yeah, blisters, yeah.
Yeah.
So, Eleanor, you're a comedian, an author, comedy writer, an actor, a stand-up, a podcaster.
Grade 7 piano.
Grade 7 piano.
Thank
So
you.
I'm really sorry I missed that. I did do research,
fine.
but I didn't. That's not on your Wikipedia. Did you know you had a Wikipedia, by the way?
I do, because I think my sister she didn't make it, but I think she has edited it in the past because somebody put something in that was wrong and it annoyed her. So
Well, congratulations.
thank you. Do you have one?
No, I don't.
I mean,
Can your sister...
she could probably set one up. I don't know who made it, and I don't know when or why. It's kind of weird looking at your own information and thinking, well, you could put more than that in, but then you're like, oh no, it has to be cited, and you can't just be like, I say so.
Yeah, I think there's laws, isn't there? Or you can't create one for yourself.
Probably, or at least you can't just be like, I'm me and I say this is true. But no, is it flattering? I don't know. It exists.
It listed all of your fringe shows,
Yeah,
and
too
all
many.
of your work. So I was impressed by it.
Somebody obviously was like, right, we've got to get these facts out here. Some, people love a tally and a table and a fact sheet.
They do. What have you been working on recently?
What have I been working on recently? I am working towards my fringe show for this year. My 9th.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. Because you only did your first last
I know.
year, right?
I'm a little baby.
You're a tiny
Although I should say
baby.
we do go years back. Me and
Yeah, we do,
Eleanor.
yes, sorry,
Although there
yes.
was a gap of about 7 years where I just sort of disappeared into an abyss and I didn't do comedy. And
I was going to say, because
re-emerged.
I was in London, so I don't think I noticed.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. You're in that other abyss.
I was in the other abyss, and then I came back and I was like, who's still on the scene? I remember that Mark Jennings told me that you had been on some laugh pod, and he'd said, what's changed in comedy in the last 15 years? And the only thing you could think of was that I don't play the ukulele anymore.
Yeah, that's the first thing that came to mind.
That's the big change in Scottish comedy.
You've done 1,000 different things, and this podcast is about, spiraling and anxiety and stuff. But considering, you might be an overthinker, might have anxiety, I think it takes a lot of confidence to do all those different things. I think that's something that I like about your work, because you're not boxed in. You're not scared to try all these different things.
No, sometimes I'm scared of not having any money, and that does make you try different things.
That's true.
I think because I used to be so scared of everything, and I am less scared now. I really had to force myself to do stuff. So I'm quite good at like making myself do scary things, even if I'm very, very uncomfortable at the time. And that is probably how I ended up doing multiple things to various skill levels.
Is there a scale, like if you think about the different things that you've done, like podcasting, stand-up, like from no anxiety to terrifying, is there a scale there, or are they equally scary? Or
I think stand-up is always going to be the scariest, but it depends on the situation, because it's not always scary. But if you're in a new place, or if you're trying to impress people, if you know you got to do well, that's really stressful. But less than it used to be, because I've done it. If you do something enough. Do you get scared? Do you get nervous?
Yes. I mean, I started to spiral about even just doing this. Like last night, I was
Yeah,
like, do you know what's scary? I spent a lot of money on all this equipment.
It's very nice equipment.
And then, when I started to ask people if they wanted to be on it, I was like, I've committed now. And then you start to worry about the guest and wasting their time.
I assure you, you cannot waste my time.
Okay, that's reassuring.
What did I do today? I watched a Netflix documentary about an FDLS cult. FLDS.
What does that stand for?
It's the Mormons who live in the desert in the weird dresses.
Oh.
It's not the mainstream Mormons, it's the ones who have multiple wives.
Okay.
And this one was about a woman who infiltrates them by pretending, well, she is making a documentary, but she's pretending she's just kind of there to be like getting to know them, but really she's trying to bring down this abusive predator.
Wow.
It's deep. And I did all my laundry.
Okay. I saw on the Mormon front, I saw
Yeah.
Book of Mormon for the first time recently, and
I've never seen it. Did you like it?
Well, I didn't realise that it's actually quite racist.
Do you mean Mormons or the musical?
No, the musical.
Oh, right.
Sorry, the Book of Mormon. I didn't read the Book of Mormon. I went to see the Book of Mormon.
No,
the
I got
musical.
you. But
yeah.
do you mean the musical was racist or the
musical?
the religion?
Oh yeah, I knew that. Yeah,
Right,
because
okay,
they only
yes.
let black people in like the 70s
They
or
did.
something.
For some reason, some black people apparently wanted to join, and
Yeah.
but
God changed his mind in the 70s and
Yeah.
started to let them in.
what is racist about the musical? I
So
haven't seen it.
I hadn't seen it before. I had no expectations other than South Park. I love South Park.
Oh yeah.
And there were bits of it I absolutely loved, like choreography. The music was amazing, really, really funny. But the kind of loose storyline is the Mormons. They go on these like missions.
Yes.
Apparently they go outside of Bars Road.
Oh, I've seen them in Edinburgh.
They go all over the place.
I was once accosted by a guy, and I was trying to cross a really busy road in the middle of Edinburgh. And I would have talked to him because I quite
Was he hot?
No, he was a little child, but he was I always like to engage and ask annoying questions, not in a horrible way, just like anyway. But I was like, I will get run over if you keep talking to me. But yeah, they're here.
They go on these missions, and the Mormons in the musical go to Uganda.
Great.
And it's just it's the way they kind of represent the Ugandans is just a bit there's stuff about AIDS.
Okay,
and
yes.
It's just like you could tell it was written 20 years ago.
This is interesting because I heard that they changed it recently to kind of be more up to date with the fact, acknowledging that, because it used to be like, haha, Mormons are funny, but they're not harmful, they're just a bit of fun. And now they've kind of had to go, actually there's lots of problematic things. But
yeah, so I looked this up after seeing the show. Obviously I went on Reddit immediately and was Googling, and apparently after 2020 and Black Lives Matter, lots of black actors got together and basically were like, we're not going to participate unless you rewrite a lot of the script. So what I saw must have been the rewrite.
Ooh.
So I wonder what the original was
you
like.
You could probably find it somewhere.
Probably.
If you really wanted to.
Anyway, that's a Mormon tangent.
Meant to talk about problems, not talk about Mormons, but what you gonna do?
Are you a worrier?
Yes.
Okay. Do you think has that changed as you've got older, or have you always
I think it's
been that
got
way?
better. I was way worse when I was younger and undiagnosed, and there wasn't really like when I was 7, basically I started to get symptoms of OCD and like generalized anxiety disorder, but obviously at that point nobody knew. I mean, people did, but children having mental health wasn't really a thing. Like maybe you'd put kids who were hyper on pills to calm them down, but that was it really. Or you'd have like occasional cases of them killing people, but like general mental health for kids wasn't. So like I would start to kind of worry about things and like irrationally and sort of talk about it, and everyone was just like, oh well, I wouldn't worry about it. And that didn't help because it was a clinical thing. So I actually am better now because I am medicated in therapy and know what is wrong with me. But the world feels worse.
Yeah.
But I'm better equipped than I was when I was 7. What, Deb, do you feel worse than you did?
I fluctuate. Like, I think in some ways in my 20s I was more confident. Like, when I think about, I did little bits of comedy in my late 20s and I had all this confidence to go and do that.
Yeah.
And
I always thought you were very confident.
But I think a lot of what I was doing was actually pretty shit. But then I didn't know it was shit. So
that's how that's the best way to be.
So, but then as soon as you realise, oh, that is shit, and then you realise, or you learn and you get better, and you realise, oh, I'm not actually hitting the mark, you kind of lose that confidence. So I don't know, there's a weird sort of self-doubt that creeps in or has started to creep in my 40s.
It's the opposite of the Dunning-Kruger effect.
Oh, what's that?
That's where people are... So, what is it? Is it that they're stupid and they don't know they're stupid, or they're stupid and they think they're clever?
Okay.
But you're not stupid, but you're worried you're not clever.
Yeah, I have heard smart people are more likely to be unhappy.
Let's say
that.
Yeah, let's say that.
And see, when you have a problem
Yeah.
or you're stressed about something, do you talk about that to anybody?
It depends what the problem is. Sometimes I just put it on social media and then I'm like, why did I do that? That's worse. I mean, I don't recommend it, but I do talk to people. I find my boyfriend very soothing because he's not a warrior at all. And sometimes I will be in the middle of talking about something and he'll go, I don't think that's true. And you'll just be like, oh yeah, okay. It's very grounding. But I think I worry that I annoy people with my anxiety. Like, oh, Eleanor's here again, like worried about something. Because I know it's not rational, but it's still hard to stop doing it, you know?
I have met your boyfriend and I agree. He is so zen. So I could see that being a good influence on you for sure.
Yeah.
So speaking of problems and talking about them, you've got a spiral.
I do, yes.
That you're going to share with us.
Yes.
And we're going to talk through.
We're going to talk it through.
So tell me what's on your mind.
My spiral is, how do we keep making art when the world is really anti-art currently?
Wow, that's a big one.
Yeah.
You've brought a big spiral for the first episode.
Definitely solve it though. So
okay. Is this something that has bothered you for a long time? Or is this something that's been on your mind recently?
I'd say recently, within the last couple of years. I feel like maybe it directly correlates with my personal success. I don't know. But I think basically in some ways, the better I do, the more I'm aware of how precarious our position is as people who create stuff, and how not set up for it the world that we live in is, and how everything is kind of being taken over by, you know, doing things quickly and easily and horribly instead of for the sake of it. And I worry that people are not seeing the benefit of, I mean, I say art, comedy mostly is what I mean,
yeah.
Which some people would argue is not art, but the benefit of doing art for art's sake, which I think is, I think it is valued, but it needs to be more valued. And
well, let's unpack that.
Okay, let's open.
So you say the world is anti-art or like anti-comedy. What specifically do you feel is going wrong?
Do you know what I saw today? Do you know Zoe Bread on Instagram?
Yes.
She's great. So she did a video today all about, this isn't comedy specific. This is so David Attenborough is 100.
He is.
We're all very happy about that.
Yep.
He's the last thread keeping this country together. So happy birthday him. One of the EastEnders actors, don't know his name, don't watch EastEnders, did a portrait of Attenborough for his birthday, and it was displayed in this Brighton gallery, I think it was Brighton, and it was auctioned off. But it wasn't. He said he painted this, but it's AI. It's obviously AI.
Oh no!
And I don't know if he printed it and then painted over it, but it's definitely, like, you look at it and you're like, well, that monkey's got an extra paw, and you know the lettering's weird, and it was on BBC News as this like, and this guy from EastEnders has painted a picture of David Attenborough, and and the money's going to charity, and it's lovely, and only 10% of the money was going to charity, so it's already a bit dodgy, but I was just like, how have they managed to frame this like this is a really nice, charming thing, when first of all, it's a horrible, like, classic AI art, kind of, the colours are horrible, the whole thing's weird and gaudy.
Willy Wonka vibes.
Yeah, definitely. And then, you've managed to frame it like it's a good thing, like this is, and also as if we're all idiots who can't tell that this is AI.
Yeah.
So it just felt very dystopian, and also sad as a way of celebrating someone who is very, as Zoe Bird points out, pro-nature, which is not what AI loves, and likes real things like animals. And
has there been much, like, I've not caught up with the story, but like that, so that was on the BBC News.
Yes.
Has there been much discourse or response online to that painting?
I think so. I need to go back and check when this happened. It was, I think, within the last week, but obviously the comments on Zoe Bread's thing was, everyone was outraged and stuff, but I do feel like we live in a world where not enough people hate AI enough. Like, I think a lot of people hate it, but I think we need to have a stronger, really visceral, like, treat it like, I don't know, like it's a hate crime
Right.
that exists. Like every time someone brings it up, like they've said something really offensive, if they say they use AI, I think we should just treat them like, that is disgusting. I can't believe you do that.
I wonder if like the AI art thing is still, you know, it was kind of trendy for a while, wasn't it? Where people were like putting their profile pictures.
And full disclosure, when it was first a thing, like 4 years ago, maybe,
kind of fun to do.
We all did it. I've got a weird AI picture of me as a fairy princess. Loved it, and then very quickly realized, first of all, you know, this is not good for artists, and second of all, like the pictures are kind of, you know, they've all got like a tell, not just like they look weird, but the style, you know, is the more AI is fed, the more homogenous it all gets, because it's got so much information now. It's kind of giving you the average of what every single artist in the world would do. So it's this very bland kind of thing that comes back. But we, me and my boyfriend, every time we're out and about, we will like play like, let's spot the AI art, because it's, you know, shops will use it as a cheap way to kind of create a thing. But that's AI, and then sometimes you can't tell, and it's kind of creepy. Are you an anti AI, or are you going to come out suddenly as?
I fucking love it. No, I feel like it obviously has some positive applications that are quite specific, you know, in like medical research, or, you know, if you're dealing with massive data sets.
Yeah,
it's being used for properly positive things.
Yes, and there are things it can simplify that I have no issue with, but
I wonder, like, specifically on the kind of AI generated art thing, I kind of wonder if we're at the, you know, it was really in fashion. Everyone was creating all these AI images, and it was really fun. And like, I wonder if that's going to kind of, people are going to get bored of that.
I think they will.
Because it's all the same aesthetic.
This is what I'm saying. It's very samey.
It's like Farmville. Do you remember that on Facebook? At one point, everybody was doing Farmville. Was getting hundreds of requests to do Farmville. And I don't think that happens anymore. It was just really on trend for a while.
Well, this is awkward, Zara. Actually, we're all still very into Farmville, but we've decided not to ask you to play anymore.
No. But you know, I mean, I feel like, you know, it maybe, I mean, that I'm not saying that Farmville is equivalent in
no, I know what you mean,
impact.
It's a trend.
Yeah. So
I do think there was a point, I think we've luckily passed at this now, where certain people were like, AI is the future, AI is incredible. And I think we have passed the point where those people are quite so excited about it.
And also, like, when it comes to creative stuff, is it not the case that it actually can't generate brand new ideas?
No.
So it just seems to churn out the same formulaic stuff. So again, you know, I just can't see it.
I don't know what people get from it. Like, as someone in terms of art, like, if I see an AI painting, I feel like explaining why art is good to people is kind of like, well, if they don't get it, I don't think I'm going to make them get it. But, you know, the whole point of a painting is knowing that a human being put thoughts and feelings and emotions into it, and that's why you get something out of it. And it's the same with music, and it's the same with...
that's what makes it moving, when you know the backstory behind something.
It's like, well, what am I supposed to feel about this thing that nothing created?
It's just really shallow aesthetics, and the aesthetics are horrible anyway. So
I mean, I do love to rag on it. Like, I love to find... Like, the Willy Wonka thing was... Oh, that was a lot of fun. Do you remember that?
Yeah, of course.
Oh, that was a lot of fun.
It's such a weird time in history.
It really put Glasgow on the map.
It really did.
In a way that, like, as like, oh, that's the Willy Wonka place.
I do think with AI, one kind of unavoidable thing is, I get the impression that younger generations, so people in high school right now, are all using it, and it's all normal to them.
Yes.
And I just wonder... Well, we might all be a bit, you know, are we being Luddites about this?
You can cut this out if you're not allowed to, but do you deal with students at uni? Have you found AI as a problem?
So I don't do, I do training and stuff with students. I don't do marking. And I think that is where it has had a big impact. People that do teaching and lecturing are noticing it in essays, and I think they really miss a time when they could read something original that wasn't. It's
so funny because, like, when I was at uni, you know, you'd doze off and you'd not pay attention and you'd write a bad essay, and the professor was like, oh, this is so annoying. And now I bet they'd love to have that kind of student, you know, just someone who at least was doing their own work and not copying it. But I did see something heartening. There was a commencement speech. I think it was maybe UCLA, somewhere in America, and the woman doing this graduation speech was talking about the benefits of AI, and everyone started booing like really aggressively, and she was really taken aback. You could tell she was surprised, and that was kind of nice. It was like, I do think the kids are all right. I think you're always going to get people who use AI, but I think the thing is, like, it's not even for our benefit that they should use it. Not use it. It's for their benefit. Like, at some point, you're going to be like, I can't.
Yeah, your brain atrophying because you don't know how to do the most basic of things, like write an email.
That's terrifying.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, the whole... I did a couple of videos on it that did well, that I think say that people felt the same as me. The whole idea that, like, oh, you don't want to be bothered writing emails. It's like, well, why do you want to be bothered doing anything? Why don't we all just lie on the floor all day? Like, what's the point of being alive, you know, if you don't do stuff? Like, I do understand making life easier, but there comes a point where you're like, if AI is doing everything for you, what are you doing? Are you enjoying, you know, in a socialist utopia, the robots would do all the work and we'd all create all the art, but we live in a capitalist hellhole, so it's the other way around.
So I wonder, like, AI in the arts specifically, is the onus maybe on the kind of like organizations or, you know, funding bodies or whoever in the arts to you know, have policies in place? Like, I noticed, for example, the 48-hour film project having no AI policy now.
I think you need to make it embarrassing. I think you need to put, like, I know there's also authors who put like a no AI content on their books. I think you need to have a label that is like, you know, like organic. Like, it is organic.
Yeah, it is organic. Oh, I like that.
Organic art.
I feel, like you said, the kids are all right. There's enough of us out there that are, you know, being vocal and critiquing it. Organizations are starting to come out against it.
Yeah.
I think we can get through this.
You think we're okay?
I think, you know, ultimately, as you said, it's the human stories, the human experience that usually makes art compelling, that will make you... I just can't see anything written by AI making me cry or making me laugh. Like, I don't know if you've ever seen some of the comedy that comes out of it. And I've noticed recently, I was reading something today online, and there was a joke in it that I just thought, that is so clearly AI. It was so formulaic.
There's a phrase that someone did an article about that it's very AI. It's like, it's not X, it's Y. So if you see something that's, I don't know, like, it's not a timepiece, it's a way of life. If you see that phrase, it feels very like AI wrote that.
Yeah, exactly. It's if meh.
Yeah.
It's so basic.
Even if AI is not going to be the tool, I do think there's just a lack of investment in art and the worthiness of art that society has.
Yeah.
And, you know, I mean, has that not been the case?
But I suppose, I mean, comedy in particular that you mentioned before, it hasn't historically been considered a high art in that way.
You still can't get funding for comedy unless you kind of sell it as you have to have some kind of theme, or, you know, you can't just want to make people laugh.
Yeah, I did notice during the comedy festival, Krista, the director, speaking out about that specific issue. There was an article, I think it was maybe in the Scotsman, and it was about how, you know, about exactly that, how funding isn't really available to support stand-up.
It's like, if the audience is enjoying it a lot, that must mean it's not real art, because we all know real art is boring. Boring, and highbrow and boring, and that's why...
I mean, I'm very lucky in that I did get Creative Scotland funding to do some comedy a couple of years ago. Yeah. But it was very much in that character comedy, more theatrical space. I did use the funding to pay stand-ups. Yeah. But I wonder if maybe there is an element of comedians feeling like that sort of funding, arts funding, isn't for them.
I do think there's a levels of approach in comedy where some people are very like, what I do is art, and some people are like, this isn't art, I refuse to say this is art, because, you know, it's a sort of like reverse snobbery where they're like, I'm not doing art, I'm just making people laugh. And it's like, yeah, that's fine, but like, do you want more money to do that? Yeah. Sean McLaughlin did a really funny bit in his tour show that I saw at Machynlleth Festival the other weekend, where he talks about the fact that Winston Churchill didn't defund the arts during the war. Like, he kept the money for the arts, and when everyone else was like, what are you doing, he was like, if we don't have art, what are we voting for?
Yeah.
And then obviously he undermines that by saying that, you know, like doing his own stand-up and being like, is this what Churchill was fighting for? But the point stands that, you know, that people have not considered comedy art, even though,
and you know, even if there isn't kind of that like psychological barrier to like, oh, that arts funding isn't for me, I suppose the reality is when you go to do your funding application at the moment, comedy isn't included as a box. You know, you have to tick other or theatre, or if you're in musical comedy, maybe music. So I think that there's a kind of like system based problem there, or process problem that is putting up a barrier.
I also think, and here's me getting really on my high horse, I think anything that working class people enjoy is not considered art. And working class people don't enjoy all comedy, but working class people certainly enjoy a lot of comedy. And I'm not saying working class people don't also enjoy high art, but I think the conception is like, if it's something you can go and watch on a Saturday night and get a bit drunk when you're watching it, it can't be art. And I think there's this really weird attitude we have where, like, the more fun you're having, the less this must be art.
Yeah.
You can only be very serious and having a very boring time. Not that the high art is boring either. I don't want to get in a Timothy Chalamet trap here.
Okay, yeah.
Zara,
be careful. Cancellation
big fan
pending.
of opera and ballet, but
I think I think there is a class problem clearly, even in kind of accessing that funding. I know like Darren McGarvey's been very critical of this before as well. You know, like I was able to apply for that funding to Creative Scotland because I work in a university. I know the language of funding applications, and that's a skill I've benefited from and then be able to apply. And if you're not in academia or that world,
or the theatre world, which is also sets you up for that kind of funding as well. Yeah,
so that could be a barrier for some people. Although I know that Creative Scotland, I think Creative Scotland have got quite a lot of access support if you do need support, apply for that funding. But
the other thing is, leading into this, which might be a positive, but we'll see if it happens, is this whole artists'
universal income.
Yes,
universal basic income,
which they are floating at the moment.
Yes, very exciting.
It is. It would be really exciting if that happened. I know that they have it in Ireland because my friend Michael benefited from it.
Michael Fry. He might be appearing on.
Ooh.
He's another. I don't want to categorize him as another overthinker, but also,
oh my god,
he's very much an overthinker.
No,
he's part of our community.
He is absolutely an overthinker. And,
but amazing Irish comedian, and I didn't realize. So he has been part of that program,
and I think that has really helped him in the last few years to just keep making stuff and doing stuff and being also like it. You know, with that funding means he can stay in Dublin and contribute to the Dublin economy and not do what most of us have done or thought about doing, which is move to London. Yeah. You know, it's so frustrating when people kind of like the idea is you have to be in London and you try not to be in London, and then all the stuff is in London and you think, well, how is this? Yeah. I heard this really interesting anecdote a couple of years ago and I can't remember who told it to me, but it was a kind of story from days of yore in the 90s where the BBC wanted to do more regional stuff, so they invited a bunch of people to come to this big meeting in London about regional comedy or whatever, and the woman in charge was like, so who here actually lives outside of London? And nobody put their hand up, and she was like, oh, that's really annoying. I really wanted someone from the regions, and it was someone like Paul Whitehouse went, well, we all had to move here because this is where all the work is. It's just this sort of endless circle of like lack of money in anywhere but London means people are not staying in those places and giving, and I think there's quite a kind of hostile attitude as well that people have about certain Scots will, they'll leave Scotland to make money, and people will be a bit snobby about that, and it's like, you can't judge people for that trying to make a living. No, I know. And that's where so many opportunities are, like you say. It is really hard, yeah. But yeah, I think on the positive, like you say, I think this is very exciting. Yes. I think it could be really good for the Scottish creative industries. I hope so. If, outside of that, the kind of funding and opportunities landscape in Scotland, I think one positive in recent years is that there is a kind of DIY scene that's really 100%. Burgeoning. Yes. I think a lot of that we've seen come from TikTok and people, making you just need a phone. You don't need loads and loads of money. And, through that, people have been able to get exposure and get more opportunities. Definitely.
you've got so many people starting podcasts, I hear, they're seizing the means of production.
It's like,
I
yeah,
know,
we get it. We've all got to have a podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I will say the difference between when I started comedy, which is 16 years ago this month.
Wow. Happy anniversary. 16,
I
a
know.
teenager.
I was 18, yeah. So you can work out my age from the math. I'm 34. But when I started and now, the difference in definitely the Scottish scene, I think, is overall net positive, definitely. I think it's much more diverse. I think it's a lot more women.
Mm-hmm.
I still feel like even when I was 18 back in 2010, there was, I would be the only, I'm sure you felt this too, the only woman on the bill so much of the time. And even then, that was considered like progress because there was a woman on the bill. So I think we have come a long way, and it is really nice to see as well a lot more experimentation and people doing different things. I suppose my thing is that, as much as it always feels like it's getting worse, it's getting better at the same time.
Yeah, I think community is something that I don't know, I think I've always felt a little bit outside of the kind of comedy scene in a way.
Yeah.
And maybe that is partly to do with gender or like the type of comedy that I do. And I feel we're similar.
I think we both feel very much
we're very insecure. No, we're not. But I think historically, or maybe not even that long ago, I felt like a little bit of an outsider. But actually, I feel like I'm increasingly finding this community in Scotland and beyond via TikTok as well, of people who are similar minded and who are so supportive.
It's also like a business where it's so easy to be like, I'm the only one doing badly, or I'm the only one who feels like I'm not doing well, or whatever it is. And it's also funny because that's how everyone feels constantly. But it's weird how we're bad at admitting it sometimes, I think, especially in Scotland. I think we really have to kind of like, it's just kind of the tall poppy thing. You can't boast too much, but you also can't admit when things are terrible either. I feel like
stoic,
basically.
Very Scottish thing to be. I wonder if maybe part of the kind of feeling as an outsider sometimes comes from, I do a lot of TikTok, you do as well. I mean, you gig way more than me, but I don't actually see people in person that often. And then when I do see people in person, it's so lovely and everyone is so welcoming, and it kind of, as you say on social media, you can see stuff online and you can get in your own head about stuff.
It's very easy.
Eleanor's
to
not like my post. She hates me.
Shit, I'm about to do that now. No, totally. And I think that's why I do enjoy the Fringe for all its faults, because you are, as much as it can be very stressful, you are also like with other people doing what you both really enjoy doing, and you're not just online promoting and stuff and waiting for things. You're doing it, you get to do it every day, and you get to be in it, and that is really nice, even if it also makes you have a tiny little breakdown. I did the Fringe for the first time last year, and I funnily enough, like I think in my head I was like, I'll go to the Fringe and I'll be like partying all the time and like doing karaoke and all that. We always imagined
I didn't do that.
No.
But I did feel like part of a community. It was nice, and I did see people in person and I saw so many great shows, and I was like, okay, I feel like a legitimate comic person now.
That's nice. I love meeting comedians from like America and Australia as well at the Fringe, like, welcome to my city. It's such a novelty to see like people here from the comedy scene, the worldwide comedy scene.
How are you feeling about the spiral topic
I
just now?
genuinely feel better.
Okay.
That's so weird.
Isn't that funny? I feel good. I feel part of a community.
Yes.
I'm not worried about AI.
No.
I think, there's enough of us that are resisting,
so.
And people are going to get bored.
They are going to get bored. There's only so many weird pictures of David Attenborough we can stand.
Exactly. We're going to all have our universal basic income.
Yep.
And opportunities are going to flow. I think we're going to be fine.
Wow, thank you so much, Sarah.
We're part of a DIY scene, and we're living it.
We're doing it.
A problem shared is a problem for somebody else to solve. Help me.
This is a part of the podcast where we get someone else's problem for you to solve, Eleanor.
Good thing I'm a qualified psychotherapist.
Indeed. totally safe what we're doing here.
Okay.
Because this is the first episode, we're going to do something special, and I'm going to phone a friend.
Ooh.
So the person I'm going to phone is my friend Jack.
Yes.
Jack lives in Paris, so he is my French correspondent, and he is somebody who I do tell my problems to, and vice versa, and he's definitely a good person for this podcast.
Okay.
So let me just give him a call. This is quite exciting.
Yeah.
I've never had
never
done a live call on a podcast. Oh my god. Oh. Hello.
Hey.
Hello. Hi.
Or should we say bonjour?
Bonjour.
Oh, that was great pronunciation, guys.
Well done, Eleanor.
Stop it. No, stop it.
How's it going in Paris just now?
Good, thank you. I'm just back from seeing Devil Wears Prada 2.
Oh,
what do you think?
Which I absolutely loved.
Really?
So
It's good.
much.
It's good fun. Did you not like it?
I've not seen it yet.
Oh.
I loved the first one. So
Yeah.
is the like boyfriend still in it that
No.
everyone hates? No.
He gone.
No.
Okay.
Yeah. There's like the main big stars, and then there's no one else really from the first one.
Okay. I just remember
Yeah.
him making that cheese sandwich. There's like 5 pounds of Jarlsberg in that.
Is that a bigger deal in America than here? Because is Jarlsberg very expensive?
I think it is quite expensive.
Okay, I don't think I've ever bought it.
I
so-
have bought it because of Devil Wears Prada.
Yeah, you've been influenced.
I've cosplayed as the boyfriend. Anyway, sorry, enough chit chat.
I love a discussion of expensive cheese.
Let's get down. I do want to see the sequel. I'll try and do that soon.
Yeah, it's worth it.
But anyway, I've called you because you're someone who sometimes shares problems with me, and I thought it would be fun and therapeutic for you to share a problem with us today, and we will chat it through, and Eleanor's going to help you through this.
I am here. I'm off screen, but I'm here lurking.
Okay, well, my problem is more like a grievance. It's in my professional life, so it's at work.
Great.
So I have an office job, we'll say. I work in an office. And as most people who work in offices will have noticed, there's the creeping presence of AI in our jobs. So I'm going to put it out there that this is what that concerns is AI.
Crazy that you're talking about AI, but continue. no, sorry.
Obviously, I'm coming cold into this podcast. Maybe you just discussed this. But
Yeah. On you go.
Anyway, so I have a colleague who I actually share an office with. So obviously, already that's like a lot of exposure to this woman, so a female colleague. And so the issue really is that this person is using ChatGPT beyond what I would consider like a reasonable amount. So she will filter every single email that she sends through ChatGPT. It's very obvious to anyone who knows all the sort of hallmarks of an AI piece of text. She will filter all her responses through ChatGPT. So it's mad. It's like incredibly annoying. So there's that aspect of it where you're dealing with a robot as a colleague, but then she's taken it upon herself to become like the social nexus of our team. Like she's the person she wants everyone to come to lunch. She set up this Teams chat called Lunch and Chill, and in that chat she sends like every time a new person joins the team, she sends a message written by ChatGPT that's like, "Here we don't talk." No work talk here.
Oh my god!
All we care about is food, but like really cheesy and ChatGPT, like worse than that with emojis and everything. Yeah. So, I mean, my problem is really just that I'm at my limit with it. So,
the social convener robot is insane.
Sadly, the idea of having a robot friend sounds really fun, but the reality is deeply boring. So already it's
So can you give an example of like what she might post then in like the social Teams site?
Yes.
It doesn't need to be a real example, but I'd
love it if it was.
Yeah. Okay. Let me find one if I just scroll up quickly. I mean, it's just the whole thing is about food. So she'll send when it's approaching 12:30, which is
maybe don't read it out exactly in case there's some kind of freedom of information.
But fine.
But you could like paraphrase.
Yeah, I suppose this problem's compounded by the fact that I find her decision to be the person who organizes like what the team is going to do at lunchtime, I find it like quite an affront.
Do you feel like you can't say I'm going for a walk by myself? Like you
Exactly.
have. Oh my god.
There's so much pressure, and also she finds it really weird when you say no. And then on the flip side, she doesn't ever come for any social things after work finishes. She will never come for an after work drink. She's like out the door.
She sounds
fascinating. She wants everybody to have lunch with her. Yeah, and it's just like she'll send a message at like 12:20 because she's decided that's the time that we should go for lunch is 12:30. So at 10 minutes before, she'd be like in a ChatGPT tone, like looks like my tummy's.
Oh my god!
Oh my god!
Like, and I should also say that this woman, which is no shade, but it maybe explains a bit more. Like, her native language is not English, and she doesn't speak amazing English.
Okay, so she's maybe
compensating.
She's relying on this. But I have seen her. She's a French native speaker. I have seen her use it in French as well.
Oh, okay. She's French. Say no more. Say no.
Yeah.
So
well,
yeah.
If you want to go down that route, like we can stay here all day. But yeah.
No. That's a little
Obviously,
joke.
love the French. Just no libel.
love hashtag love the French. I knew I had a friend of friends. She wasn't my friend, but she was the friend of some friends, and she would put things in their Google Calendar. Like she somehow got access to it. Not a work friend, like a social friend. She would put things in their work calendars. In their Google Calendars, like, but without asking, it would just appear like lunch on Sunday or something.
Whoa!
It was incredible, and I don't know
okay.
how they put up for it for as long as they did because it freaked me out. I think I get where you're coming from.
Yeah, that's a whole next level. I hope she never gets there. That's like quite alarming.
So Eleanor, know how you feel about AI?
Yeah.
How
this is going to look like you set this up.
It's weird actually that it's kind of worked out this way. But okay, you've heard Jack's problem.
Yeah.
What are we going to do about it? What do you think?
I think, as always, the healthiest and most mature thing to do is to be very passive aggressive. So
Jack's going to love this.
So I suggest peppering into your correspondence with her, or any kind of thing that you think she'll see, links to suggestions about AI being bad or potentially giving your computer bugs or something, even if that's not true. I think shame is the best way to get people out of AI. So and you're gonna have to be very subtle so that she doesn't feel it's obvious, but just somehow bring things up that suggest that AI is like, studies show people who use AI are stupid monkey brains. I don't know, something like that. Just something that's like, this is bad.
Yeah, keep that in her orbit, like the cognitive decline.
Yeah, like aspect. Did anyone see this really interesting article about how it makes you stupider or whatever? And she probably thinks that you haven't clocked that she's using AI. She probably thinks it's
because her brain's already atrophied,
seamless,
so she doesn't have that capacity.
Exactly.
Yeah, like I won't read the actual email, but I've got an email in front of you just to give you like a couple of phrases that clear the AI, given that this woman is not a native English speaker. I had basically replied and copied her into an email, which is a bit passag, but I had said, I think actually it was Sandra, not her real name, who took care of this. Maybe she can give you more information about this. Like, I was quite casual, and then her reply was like, I would like to confirm that, which is a bit weirdly formal. At this stage, for reference, if my memory serves me well, and then she closed it by saying, that being said, I will leave it to you to coordinate this. Please feel free to keep me updated in any progress. It was just very formal, and that's kind of a bad example because it's obviously definitely was AI.
No, but that is like if an alien wanted to sound like it did business.
Yeah.
Can I out you, Jack, about that one example where you did use AI on your email?
Oh my god,
the funniest thing ever. Do you want to tell it, or will I tell it?
Yeah, that's
you tell it.
Maybe you tell it.
Okay, well,
I'll tell it.
Okay, yeah. So Jack sent an email. He'd put it through ChatGPT or whatever, and he realized after he'd sent the email that he'd addressed esteemed colleagues.
Yeah.
I'm obsessed with it.
It was like a really sensitive email, and I was like, I'll just make sure this is the right tone. I think it was in the early days of ChatGPT before it knew me well and my tone. So it just inserted like esteemed colleagues. That was the beginning of it, and I only
So
sent it
good.
afterwards.
I think people should start adding Esquire onto the end of things again. It's very Victorian, considering it's technically the future.
Or like master. Can we bring that?
Yeah, master.
That's quite like English teacher coded, isn't it?
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry.
Okay, so I think we've got some good advice there. So we're thinking in emails to her, or is this going to be like in a communal group chat? You're like in the
Just
team chat, okay, multiple channels.
If you're talking at the water cooler, just maybe have a big poster if you're allowed. That's like AI is shit. Just at least so that the worst case scenario, she will be like, this guy's no fun, and exclude you from the lunch chat, and then you can go off and have a nice lunch by yourself.
That's true. Actually,
win-win.
Make yourself unbearable. That's always my advice to everyone.
Yes. Like, but she's already doing to me, so it's like, give as good as I'm getting.
Yes.
Sort of.
Do you know, the other thing I wonder about this is like, you probably aren't the only one that has noticed this and is annoyed by it. Have you spoken to anyone else in your team?
Yes, I actually have. I've got some sort of allies on side.
Just for your mental health.
Yeah. They find it ridiculous as well. And also we've talked, like you said, we've spoken about her like brain frying from like the overuse of ChatGPT. So it's like a
I was literally saying to Zara earlier, I was like, why would you even want ChatGPT to do everything for you? And it's like, oh no, some people do, and they are like just becoming vegetables. It's quite scary.
Yeah, it's so bad. Also, something you just said reminded me of this. But in my work, for some reason, they call it generative AI, but they kept abbreviating it GAI. But they put in posters being like, advice on gay. You'd just be walking down the corridors and you just see like gay in huge letters.
It's lovely.
So you could be like, that's offensive to me, actually. That's another angle.
Yeah.
Generative AI.
This is helpful.
Do you feel better now?
Passive aggressive.
Yeah.
No, actually, I think that's a good point. Like, I don't think she's actually aware of the downsides. Like, she's just run with this, which I mean, I love AI as well, but like, I'm aware of the dangers and I don't overuse it. She definitely is just like leaning into it in a bad way.
Has anyone tried, like, if you actually ask AI, are you atrophying my brain? Will it answer honestly, or does it rely?
Like, that's a great question. While AI is totally safe to use, there have been cases where it has completely made someone go insane.
Yeah, I don't need to ask AI now.
Yeah,
I think you've pretty much nailed that.
Thank you. I mean, I have friends, and every time they say this, I'm like, next time they say it, I'm going to say something, but I always check it out, where they will say to me, oh yeah, I had this mental health issue worry, so I asked AI, or I had this question about this person I'm not sure is good, so I asked AI, and I'm like, oh, people really are asking AI therapy, mental health, things you should ask your doctor. Even a Google is better, because the Google is from websites, and AI sometimes just makes up stuff.
I did see it. Sorry, it's like just going deep into AI again, but it was like someone had taken a photo of like a wound or something, that like a mysterious wound, and they sent it to ChatGPT, and then I think it kept getting bigger and bigger, and they kept sending more photos, and then, but to be fair, the AI straight away was like, go to a hospital, but like they just didn't, and they just kept showing pictures, and then eventually they did go to a hospital. But yeah.
Well, I do have a doctor friend, like he's retired, but he says that AI for medical stuff is like so insanely good. He's
well,
that's something.
Wow, okay, that's good.
It.
As like the NHS collapses, we can take that dystopian route.
Go to Dr. Robot.
I did see one juicy AI story. I think I might have sent it to you, Jack, and it was like a woman that had gone on her boyfriend's laptop and she could see his ChatGPT history. And on the history, it was like, should I break up with my girlfriend?
Oh, no.
And he had all these conversations with AI that was basically encouraging him to break up with her. But he was also sharing stuff about her that was like really not great. And then she broke up. But I was like, wow, that is like a Black Mirror.
Yeah, I mean, I am obsessed with the people who fall in love with AI, girlfriends and boyfriends, and just the whole route they've gone down there is endlessly interesting.
I shouldn't know myself doing this, but I guess everyone's doing it. Like I recently was dating someone, and then I got ghosted as the conclusion of the story. But I did post the screenshots of the conversations with this guy into ChatGPT, and I was like, for the last message, because basically was clear he was ghosting me, but I was like, how should I respond? Anyway, I got it to analyze the dynamics throughout our
Oh,
exchange.
Oh my
And?
God, obsessed.
It was so enlightening. It just confirmed what I thought, but it was just saying that I had been carrying like the emotional charge, the moving things along, making plans, suggesting things, and he was being a passive like recipient, and nothing would have happened without my impetus.
Oh,
So
wow.
Interesting. Either it's being
kinda-
really,
I mean-
it's either being really sycophantic, which it's known to do,
Well,
or there might be
yeah.
some genuinely useful insights.
I'm sure. I fully believe that it's right in this occasion, but I also am skeptical that it likes to agree with you.
Yeah,
But
know.
I'm sure you were right anyway.
Yeah. Good, yeah. Don't
Regardless.
waste your energy
Yeah,
on
yeah,
whoever
yeah.
that guy
Well,
is.
it did like talk me down from sending like a kind of like lashing out.
Oh, well, that's
good.
It's just, like, it taught me through what the last message should be, and but then it did reassure me that it was amazing when I sent it. So I was,
Is this
after I'd sent
such a
it.
good-
Is this
yeah.
Jack's way of hard launching his new AI boyfriend?
Yeah.
Okay,
Oh, God,
well,
I know.
that took a turn. Well,
Sorry about that.
thank you, Jack, for being an amazing caller.
Yeah.
Well, I called you,
Pleasure.
but thanks for
Yeah, no,
receiving
no.
the call and sharing your problem. And
Yeah.
do you feel better now? That
I do. I feel
Yeah.
like it's a weight lifted off me
Great.
just talking about it. So thank you for it's nice to talk to humans about
Yeah.
a
Oh.
technological problem.
Good luck with it.
Thank you, guys.
bye.
Bye. Nice to talk to you. Bye. Bye.
So that was
Wow.
Jack. I swear I did not set that up.
No,
I did not know
no.
what you were going to talk about.
That's
And,
hilarious.
that was.
I think it just shows everyone's talking about it.
it is very zeitgeisty.
I'm on the pulse of what is cool.
Let's hope it's still zeitgeisty in the 6 months in which I actually edit and release this. Actually, do you know what? I tend to get quite obsessed with things and edit very quickly,
Yeah.
so you never know.
It'll be done by 5 a.m.
Yeah, I think so. That brings us to the end of the first ever spiraling episode. Do you have anything to plug, Eleanor Morton?
Oh my god! Well, when do we know when this is coming out, or can we not say?
I will try and get this out before the Fringe.
I am.
That's a good target.
Yes, I'm at the Fringe. If you're listening in Scotland, great news! The Fringe is in Scotland. I'm on every day apart from Mondays and Tuesdays because I'm lazy. At Monkey Barrel Comedy at 1 p.m. It's called The Mermaid, and it's all about mermaids and mermaid lore and myths, and also about growing up in the mid-2000s, Rat Boy Summer, James
Yes.
Cameron's Submarine, all sorts of other things. So it's a lot of fun, and if you like mermaids, I think you'll like it. So please come along.
And you're on like all of the social medias.
I'm on all the social medias, and you can check me out on my podcast, Ellen and Alistair Read That, where me and Alistair Beckett King read classic kids literature and then make fun of it.
Iconic.
Mm.
And Radio 4.
Yes. Oh, yeah. We should definitely keep plugging that. In February, January? What is time?
Yeah.
Earlier this year,
February.
me and Zara were did a show called Eleanor and Pals, which was character comedy. It was me and Zara as Aileen. And you can still listen to that on BBC Sounds. And if you listen to it, maybe they'll let us make more. Although by the time this comes out, they'll probably have said no. So.
And then we'll do another episode to work through.
Yes,
that brings
work
up for
through the
us.
grief. But yeah, listen to Eleanor and Pals if you can. Yeah.
Thank you, Eleanor.
Thank you. Bye. Bye.
Spiraling was recorded and edited with jingles written by me, Zara Gladman. Artwork was by Tom Dees, who you can follow on Instagram at easypeasylemondeasy. If you enjoyed this and would like to stop me spiraling about my decision to make a podcast, then why not leave me a 5-star review on Apple or Spotify? Thanks for listening.